This video is for you if you want to run a 6 or 7 figure business completely remotely. I'm going to uncover the secrets and how I was able to do that myself and share step by step how you can do the exact same and run your real estate business completely remotely. I know this is counterintuitive to the way that we were taught how to sell real estate. So this might take a bit of a mindset shift, but I'm going to walk you through step by step how I ran my business and made over 7 figures living in 2 separate countries, selling in both countries. It's actually very straightforward and way easier than you think. So let's jump into it. I'm gonna cover the systems versus hours worked because I think it's a big mindset shift here, and it's gonna open your eyes to how to do this successfully. Virtual consultations that convert, because I understand that people like in person. However, if you have the right systems, you can have virtual consultations that convert just as high, if not more, than an in-person consultation. This is great. Process trumps personality. You cannot do this if you don't have the right systems and processes in place. It's impossible. And I'm gonna teach you how to delegate and scale like a CEO. This is my favorite part because I'm all about buying back my time, and I wanna teach you how to do the same, but you need to have the right process in place, which I'm gonna cover in this. So systems and hours worked, okay? What a line. Document every repeat task once and execute forever. When you're doing things over and over and over again, you absolutely need to document these, whether you're at a stage in your career where you're starting a team or not, or maybe this is something you want to implement in the future. If you find yourself doing the same thing multiple times, please God document this because you're going to regret not doing that later. There's an AI tool called Scribe. Okay, I've used that in the past where basically what it'll do is it'll look at your screen. Whenever you click anything, it'll document where and what you clicked and write a little description as to why you clicked it. So that way in the future, if you outsource whatever you're doing, the people can see exactly how you did it and how you like to do it. I also use Loom a lot. Loom is probably my favorite source or favorite tool that allows me to take a video of everything that I'm doing and repeat that. This is probably the most important part and point in this entire video. Set expectations properly from day one. I learned this from a real estate coach of mine, and I want to share this with you. If you set the right expectations with your clients and you tell them how you run your business successfully, they're not going to question what you're saying. For example, if I got a call from a doctor who said, come to the appointment office at this time and then you're going to do X and Y and Z, I would never question anything that they told me because they're a professional, they're a doctor, and that's how they run their business. Whether it seems maybe a little bit different than other people or not, this is how they run their business, and it must have been working, so why would I question that? If a dentist tells you to do X, Y, and Z, maybe it's a little bit different than other dentists, but it's obviously working, so you're gonna follow X, Y, Z. The same goes for you in your real estate business. I set my expectations with my clients from day one. I let them know that they probably, let me rephrase that. I let them know that they will not be working with me directly in person. That does not mean that I'm not behind the scenes, quarterbacking everything, overseeing everything. But I let my clients know that my time is much better spent being behind a computer, analyzing deals, finding buyers, running the marketing, making sure the ads are working, making sure that we have the right avatar targeted to buy their property. All of the things, that's where my time is most valuable. To me, my time isn't most valuable when I'm driving in Toronto traffic trying to get to certain appointments to show them properties, okay? I've seen every condo that there is on the market. If not, I've seen something very similar. I don't need to see it for the 100th time. That's not where I provide my value. Where I provide my value is by analyzing deals, finding buyers, making sure the marketing is in place, having a proper plan in place. That's where I provide my value. Say it with clarity, say it with what's the word I'm looking for? Say it with conviction, okay? Because they're not gonna question it if you say it confidently. If you start to sound nervous about how you're saying it, they're gonna question it. Say it with conviction. You have showing partners to cover all in-person work. I like to use the term showing partners versus just like a showing agent because they're very important in my business, but they all follow the same standard operating procedures across the board. There are no differences. And you do that by having documented tasks, right? That everyone can follow the same systems. So I have my showing partners that cover all in-person work. Now, virtual consultations that convert, okay? I'm all about speed, okay? So quick same-day Zooms to maximize the lead capture. Now, there's nothing worse than someone coming in your database from whatever lead pillar they're coming in from and booking an appointment 2 weeks out. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for them. They're kind of starting to have their second guesses about everything. And someone comes into my database, I try to, first of all, I'm calling them immediately and I'm trying to book a online consultation as soon as humanly possible that best fits mine in their calendar. I just find that converts much more. Clients love convenience rather than friction. It doesn't matter if it's in person or not. It needs to be convenient for the client. And I honestly think nowadays, I would prefer to have a consultation online than in person. It just makes my life easier. I can do it from my couch if I have things to do. I don't have to factor in drive time. It's just easier for me to do an online consultation. And I think it's much more effective and clients love convenience. I've talked about this briefly, but set the expectations for the remote service model. Again, say it with conviction, say how you run your business, you tell them how you run your business and make sure that they are fully aware of that, because if you try to tiptoe around, which I personally did when I first started selling in real estate in Tulum from Toronto, I was nervous, I wasn't really confident in what I was saying, I would try to hide the fact of where I was, and it just ended up causing for like uncomfortable conversations down the road. I'm super open and honest about what I'm doing, where I am, and why I'm doing it, and how I provide value, and how my remote service model works for you as a client, okay? And how it's worked for many other clients as well. So say it with conviction, but make sure to set those expectations properly, and don't try to hide anything. Just say it with conviction. Be confident with what you're doing, especially if it's working. So the showing partner model, this is extremely important because you can't run a remote business if you have no showing partners in the area of where you're selling real estate, okay? I personally like them as calling them like co-experts, not an assistant. I don't want to downplay that person because that's where you'll lose trust, or you'll lose you'll lose trust on that. Now, I don't downplay their role in this. It's a very important role, and I call them co-experts, and I make sure that it's well known that they are experts in the area that they're taking you through. They will know the area, they'll know the building, they'll know all about everything you need to know, okay? They are co-experts in this. Do not downplay the role of your showing agent. They're gonna handle the boots on the ground for either showings or whatever referral you're doing. It allows you to be remote, but control everything from afar. This is super important. I have a group text workflow that keeps me in the loop. You cannot be removed completely from this. You can work remotely, but not be removed completely, okay? Even though you're not there in person, you need to understand what's happening next. At what point of is the transaction along in the flow, in the funnel. You need to be the one in control of this, okay? And there needs to be group texts so that you're aware of everything that's happening. I make sure that my showing partners are well aware of this as well. This is all set in the expectations. If you look me up on Google, personally, I have many 5-star reviews from clients that I've literally never met in my entire life. And I've done this by going over what I just told you. You need to switch the way you think, because if you think that your clients need to see you in person, your ego is in the way. You can absolutely run a remote business. I've done it extremely successfully. It's just how you think and how you have your processes and systems in place. It's extremely doable. Process trumps personality. Buyers value a smooth closing over a specific agent. I think a buyer would much value a smooth transaction over like one specific agent. And if that's the way that that buyer thinks, then unfortunately I might not be the agent for them, but there's plenty of buyers that are okay with working with me because my processes are so smooth and convenient that they would probably prefer to work with me. Now, this is a stat that I came across on NAR, the National Association of Realtors. 41% of people would switch agents for a better process. You'd be shocked at how poor realtors' processes are because it's just completely unorganized. It's just kind of flying by the seat of your pants, trying to book stuff whenever you can, maybe lack of time between responses, trying to push for in-person things. My process is so dialed in and seamless that people genuinely want to work with me because they know it's going to be convenient, smooth, and no problems whatsoever. Because of that, I get actually more repeat and referral business than the average agent because I have more time to be doing what actually makes me money, which is me being behind my computer. Now, the free lead engine. For me personally, I'm sure as most of you know, I do a lot of organic and paid through Instagram and TikTok. Mostly TikTok paid ads were a great source of income for me when it came to my Tulum real estate business, and organic Instagram as well. I use Instagram as more of like a professional business card. I put my well-curated videos on there, and then I use my TikTok for the more raw, behind the scenes, get to know me type thing, informational about different parts of Tulum or the different buying processes with Tulum. But this led me to about 3 to 4 deals per month consistently. Consistency beats follower count and value posts daily. The biggest issue is that it's hard to be consistent because you get busy with life, you get issues come up, it's hard to film. I can give you endless examples and endless excuses, but the thing is consistency beats your follower count. When I started my TikTok and started selling and making over 6 figures in Tulum, I didn't have that high of a following count on TikTok. I now have over 30,000, but I didn't have that at the beginning, and it didn't matter because I was building genuine connections with people by consistently providing value and consistently showing up on TikTok. I was posting 2 to 3 times a day on TikTok every single day except Saturday, and about 5 to 7 times a week on Instagram on my actual page, and then multiple stories as well. Now you got to track your sources, track where your leads are coming from, and double down on what converts. You have to understand that if you're not looking at what's converting or what's working on your social media, not tracking your analytics, you're never going to be able to scale your business. Now, how to delegate and scale like a CEO. You have to buy back your time. So admin and showing partners are your first hires because you need to focus on what moves the needle. If you don't know what moves the needle, and when I say moves the needle, I mean what makes you the most amount of money. If you don't know what those tasks are within your business, stop this video right now, hit pause, and go and analyze. Look at the last month, or I'll make it easier. Look at the last 2 weeks of your calendar and understand what you're doing and what of those tasks have actually led you to make more money. The rest, delegate. It's actually that simple. It took me a very long time to do this myself and to actually realize that, posting on social media, creating content to get buyer and seller leads was what actually made me money. And when I looked at my calendar, I was doing it once every 3 weeks. Does it make sense that if social media and content creation is making me 90% of my income in Tulum, that I would be doing that once every 3 weeks? Or should I be doing that probably every single day? You have to understand what's working, what's not working, buy back your time, and delegate the rest. Okay, you need to focus on high value relationships and negotiation. So what I mean by that is when you get people starting to talk with you, you need to focus yourself on those relationships and nurturing the relationship. Okay, when they come in your database, you can't just forget about them. You have to actually understand that you have to continue to nurture these people, but pay attention to the people that are actively engaging with you. It's extremely important. Now, you can use AI and templates to cut admin by 80%. There are AI tools for everything in the real estate industry nowadays. And if you don't know these, comment below and I can give you a list of my favorite AI tools that help me buy back my time. In my real estate money community, I'm going to give a shameless shout out here. I have a community around this where I believe there's a lack of training and a lack of education on how to actually build a business like this. Because the traditional way of real estate is you're a single agent and you eventually get a team, but you always got to be around and you take all the good stuff and you give your team the crappy stuff and you try to bring them up and make them great. The traditional team model, in my opinion, is dead and will probably be wiped out with the amount of information that's out there now. I just don't understand why you would want to be a part of a team. To me, it doesn't make any sense because you can get all the information the team would get you. For example, in a community like mine, for a fraction of the cost. I'll teach you those things at a 1/10 the cost of paying a team leader, and you'd actually be able to do this and implement it yourself with the accountability inside of my real estate money community. So if you haven't checked it out yet, check it out. It's great. We have a great community in there of like-minded real estate agents who are all just helping each other. To wrap this up, okay, you need to systemize every step. You need to go virtual first. You need to deploy boots on the ground with agents, and you need to feed the machine with organic leads. Systemize everything, document everything, have great systems and processes, understand that virtual is okay, and people probably prefer a smooth, more convenient process, which is typically online. You need to have showing partners. Do not belittle the showing partner's role in this whole transaction. It's extremely important. They are experts at what they do, and make sure your clients are well aware of that. And you need to continuously feed your machine with organic and paid leads.